Canada is huge and on fire. Summer 2023 has been a rough year for trees in Canada. Dry forests lit up, Western Canada was shrouded in smoke, Quebec too. New York caught wind of that. Sunlight filtered through the haze, bathing our homes in this orange-yellow glow. It was sickening. Everything smelled like smoke. Most of the heavy smoke days are behind us, but even today there was a smoke warning in the city. I was out riding my bike and I come back and my sweatshirt smells like a campfire. Large portions of the Northwest Territories, British Columbia, and Alberta had to be evacuated, and ash rained down on homes hundreds of kilometers away. It didn't stop us from boating, though. Undeniably, fire affected Canadians.
From coast to coast to coast.
So, how does Canada organize to fight fires? Cities typically have modern, well-funded fire departments. Crews can quickly be called to emergencies with 911. There are salaried staff on rotating shifts, so there's always a crew ready to go. Rural Canadians aren't so lucky. They often rely on volunteer fire crews who are on call just in case there's an emergency. They leave work or jump out of bed and race to the fire as fast as they can. The response time's good, but delayed compared to a city crew. Canada's got forest fighting crews as well, but there's not nearly enough to go around, so we borrow fighter fires from other countries and lend them ours as well. This summer, nearly 1,200 international firefighters helped out in Canada from the United States, New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa. Some cabin owners at Shuswap, beautiful lake full of houseboats, great place to camp. Some of the cabin owners took it upon themselves to steal medical and firefighting supplies from the emergency crews. Do you think all firefighters should be paid? Leave a comment below. And then there are the people on fire watch, protecting the forests, stationed at the top of tall towers in the wilderness. Binoculars in hand to spot the thousands of seasonal lightning strikes that can grow into massive, choking forest fires. Some Canadians believed wild stories about the government intentionally setting fires with space lasers and UFOs. What about becoming a firefighter? What does it take? Regional requirements vary, but here's a rough idea of what to expect. You need to be 18 years or older, have a driver's license, complete secondary school, so that's grade 12, be a paramedic, pass a fitness test, get certified from a fire training school, and that takes about 2 years, and you need work experience as well. I talked to 2 different fire chiefs, and they said that work experience isn't always necessary. It's not a hard requirement, but it's strongly recommended, and you get your experience volunteering at a more remote location. How does the Canadian government communicate fire safety with the general public? Not well, and not easily. They're not allowed to just go into anybody's home and take a look around, so they rely on neighbors, tenants, if there's a landlord who's not taking care of the property. Anybody can just report to the firefighters when they see something wrong, and then a property can get looked at. So the primary way that fire safety is enforced, upheld, is with insurance companies. People buy a property, they want to insure it, and the insurance company demands that they have, for commercial building, they'll say you need a proper fire alarm system, you need functioning sprinklers. In Canada, there's no requirement to have a fire extinguisher in your home. There's a requirement to have a fire extinguisher in your vehicle only for some commercial purposes. It is really, really common for smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, to be decades old in people's homes. They'll be battery operated, and the batteries will be dead. The detectors will be located in all the wrong places. They'll be in corners of the home. Smoke can't get to them. This is really common, and fire safety in Canada is pretty bad. It's surprising that there aren't more homes that go up in flames. But there's hope. The adults might not want to hardwire their smoke detectors and make sure they're actually working and in the correct places, but the kids can be taught. So firefighters teach the kids by coming to their schools, and they'll speak at assemblies, they'll speak in classrooms. I've seen retrofitted trailers and RVs so that there's a whole bunch of demonstrations, and sometimes kids get to sit in the fire engine or wear a firefighter's coat, play dress up. It's fun. It gets them engaged in the learning because there's a whole lot of fire safety tips that are given to the kids. Hopefully, they teach their parents. Recently, there was a special event. A fire hall opened to the public. Anybody could go in, speak to the firefighters, ask questions, tour the place. It was great. Word of the event spread through Facebook and Twitter. If you're trying to seek out the information, it can be really difficult. Twitter is a good place to look. If you search on cities' websites, it's just a labyrinth of dead ends. And if you're lucky, you end up somewhere where you can subscribe to get the news emailed to you, but you won't have access to an archive. You're much better off just looking at their Twitter feed because you can see all the past tweets, or Google your city's name and the word news feed, and you might throw in firefighters too if you want to look for something specific. But your city's name and news feed, and you'll get access to the archives of whatever the city it is. I checked all the major cities in Canada, and it worked out pretty well. Most of them, you really can't find the news feed easily. It's not on the front page. There's just so much to look at. Cities' websites are very, very busy. Open Fire Hall seemed to be a really popular community event. There were well over 100 people there.
Do you know what that is?
No.
So this connects to our mask, and then we hook in, and we're allowed to breathe fresh air that way. So when we're in a smoky building, we can't just breathe regular air like this, right? We need an alternative source.
It's fun to take a look around and explore the place. Try to get an understanding of what their job is like, what their day is like. Lockers of protective equipment, maps, schedules, basketball nets so that they can keep fit and stay busy. I've seen a lot of fire halls that have weight rooms too. Super friendly firefighters.
His name's Ryan. Ryan and Ryan.
The different ranks are displayed on the shoulder, similar to a military uniform. Firefighters put on safety demonstrations.
Saskatoon Fire Department. What's the address of the emergency card?
Here, always have a lid nearby so you can slide it over safely, calmly, turn off the burner. If it gets away, call 911. Never put water on a grease fire because water spreads it.
And they have a bin, a safe place for needles or syringes if you find any. I've seen some on the ground before, and be really careful if you move into a cheap apartment. If you're renting for the first time and you move into a cheap apartment, be very careful of any crevice. You really want to check around, get some thick leather gloves, and look in crevices because things get hidden. I've seen them in kitchen cupboards and underneath bathroom sinks, and you don't think it's a problem until you go in there to do the plumbing or clean something. And most importantly, you get a photo with Sparky the dog.
He's a dog.
Yes, he is. I'm wondering what's up there.
That's our hose tower. So like after we come back from a fire and all the wet hose and stuff like that, we'll clean it and we hang it in the tower.
Oh,
Just,
okay.
Just to get up to the top to hang the hose. Someone goes up, hangs it, and then we roll it up when she's dry.
There's a whole bunch of, they're hooked up to air.
Yeah.
They're just giant hoses that come down.
Yep.
There were 3 of them, but space for a 4th.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's for the trucks, for our air brakes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it just keeps the air charged in the brakes so that when we start the vehicle, we don't have to wait before we go.
Got it.
We can just disconnect and go. Open houses are usually done once a year.
Okay.
Sometimes move them around to different. We got a call. I gotta go.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck. It was the first time anyone has ever left a conversation with me to run towards a fire. The firefighters were super helpful, and if any of them are watching this, thank you very much. It was a really good experience. I didn't get to ask what this box on a tripod is. If you know, please write in the comments. If you have any thoughts or questions about firefighting in Canada, please write it in the comments, ask me, let me know. It might be something I can make a future video on. Firewatch would be really interesting, to spend a day with somebody up in one of those towers, see what their day is like. Please subscribe down below if you like this and you want to see more videos, and thank you for watching.